Welcome back to After the Island.
I'm Alex.
I'm Elizabeth, and we have Mackenzie here.
Hi, guys. They couldn't get rid of me.
We just couldn't.
We couldn't. We have too much fun when she's here. And we also have the dog that I'm fostering. Her name is Piper, and she already has some applicants out. But if you guys are interested in adopting her, she is up for adoption right now. But before we break down all the crazy episodes from Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, we want to take a quick moment to thank our incredible sponsors, HelloFresh,
America's #1 meal kit,
BetterHelp,
online professional counseling,
Nutrafol,
hair wellness from within,
and Ana Luisa.
Sustainably crafted jewelry.
I don't know why, but when we were doing this, I imagined like High School Musical when they do the opening scene where they're like soaring.
We're flying.
Yeah, that's like all I can think of as we're doing this.
Before we open this up, though, we do want to take a second just to recognize and give our condolences to Josh and the Goldstein family and Shannon. Please remember to keep Lindsay in your prayers and just think about the Goldstein family when you're moving throughout your day. We're obviously talking to them today. And just so you guys know, they did want to do this interview. We did not push it. So we just want to hear what they have to say because clearly they want to talk to their fans and we're excited to talk to them. So just keep them in mind throughout this whole process.
Yes, and I feel like everyone has seen they've been getting a lot of love from all of you, and I'm sure it'll be great to have you guys all continue sending them your love as we are too.
And we will definitely keep you updated if there's like a GoFundMe or anywhere to send flowers or anything like that. We'll get the information if there is any. So yeah.
Yes. So moving into Love Island, After the Island is brought to you by Forever Dog Podcast Network. Listen to all your favorite comedy and culture podcasts each week at foreverdog.network.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can keep up with them on socials at Forever Dog Team on Instagram and Twitter.
And just like last season, I think this is so funny how we're leaning into this. It's kind of amazing. We go live every single day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't catch the live, you can watch us right after on our YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. So let's get into all of the episodes. We have Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So obviously, we started off on the note of Josh and Shannon leaving, which was just heartbreaking. I think everyone felt for them, and it was just a tragedy to see. I don't even know what to say because it's just like I can't even imagine going through that process and getting that kind of news. It definitely was like affected everyone in the villa, I think, obviously.
Well, I think when we all go into this experience, part of your anxiety, especially during times of COVID, at least for my season, especially, you don't know, you're completely cut off from the outside world. Most people do know this, but obviously, like, your phones don't work, you have no contact with the outside. And so part of what you're trusting is that when you go on the show, you are like, nothing bad is going to happen to your family. And so I just, like, my absolute, like, deepest sympathies. It's hard to process being in that situation where you're so cut off from everything and then you get the worst news of all time. But I truly feel like his sister, I believe, would be so proud of him. And when I was reflecting on it, you know, like, because I have a sister that I'm very close to and she is her age as well. I was just thinking, like, if my sister could have seen me that happy and that was what she saw of me last, then I would like to think that that would be a really nice final memory that she had of me.
Yeah, and I think it was important and a feel-good moment to find out that Josh's sister was someone that pushed him to do the show and, you know, got him to fill out the application, and that, you know, she could have been a part of this process. And we noticed, you know, she had been following along with his story and After the Island and all of that, and was really a true supporter of everything that he was doing. And, you know, she would have been really proud of him.
For sure. And I see a lot of comments which we kind of agreed with. I think they kind of should have just ended the episode without continuing on, because it did feel a little off watching dates immediately after. But going into the dates, Olivia went out with Andre. I think we just kind of like breezed through them. Olivia with Andre.
For some reason, I thought that date was going to totally turn her head and that she would be
Same.
with Andre right now. Kind of like how I thought that would happen with her and Slade. But I guess it's like, it's weird because I see her connecting like with people so much and I'm like, oh, this is totally it for her. And then it's just not, and I never really understand or see why it's not, if that makes sense.
I just feel like the dates can be like extremely misleading. Like I think that that's just like so important to keep in mind. You know, watching back some of the dates, you know, this season, last season, you know, you might think that those people have chemistry, but I think that honestly you're just excited to get out of the villa. I wouldn't know because I never went on a date, but I do feel like it can just be kind of like, I don't know. I think they are misleading sometimes. I truly feel like this is my theory that when you go on a date, unless it's like your final date, I feel like it's not a positive thing. I feel like they're trying to break you up.
No, it's so
Like,
awkward. It's awkward.
Because like it broke up Carrington and Kirsten. It broke up. Who else did it break up? Who was it this season that it broke up? That they came out from their date?
Was it Trina and Jeremy right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Yes.
I truly feel like the dates are meant to break you. They're not meant to bring you closer together.
It's because you guys as viewers don't understand how much of a camera crew is with you on that date and how close they are to you. Like they are 5 feet from you and there's like at least 8 people around watching, and when you're in the villa the cameras are hidden, so you kind of forget that they're there so you can be more of yourself. But it puts you in such an awkward position, especially when you're first meeting someone right off the bat, having all these eyeballs on you and you're trying to focus on the person next to you. It just makes it awkward. So then I think the whole chemistry becomes awkward and then it's just like off.
Oh, it's so off. Like all I remember is the director literally laying on the floor trying to get the shot, and I was like, "Sir, I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, this is why I look like an idiot on TV, because I'm staring at you literally belly down on the floor trying to get this shot of me talking about how much I like this man. Like, make it stop."
Oh my god.
It gives me flashback when I was on my date with Cormac. I said, so they were filming Mallory with
Oh my god.
Dylan during it, and so I'm with Cormac, and the whole time we're hearing them, we're supposed to be quiet, just sitting there awkwardly. We don't know each other, we're just sitting there not supposed to be talking while they're filming the other one, and I just kept saying over and over, I kept whispering, and I just kept saying, don't be awkward, don't be awkward. I was like, just please don't be awkward, don't let this be weird, because I already knew it was gonna be weird, that I was like, we got this, like it can't be awkward.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go on a date. I thought it was cute. They played soccer. And then Ellie and KC go on a date. I did not see the sparks whatsoever. And I don't think Ellie did either.
No. I don't know why, I really liked Ellie and thought she brought so much quirkiness to the villa, and she seemed so different from everyone there, which was very cool. But I didn't feel her not only having chemistry with any of the guys or the girls, like it felt like she just wasn't clicking with the house. And I think she just was like such a unique, interesting person, but so cute and like such a doll.
Yeah. Yeah. So, God, what else happens in this episode? I'm like, we're really grasping for straws here.
I kind of started after this episode when I took notes.
Yeah, because honestly, like, not really anything happens.
Yeah.
What happens at the end of it?
Oh,
I don't even remember.
I don't know. I started with
was leading into the recoupling, obviously, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, they just gave us some sneak previews into the recoupling for the next episode, but okay, wait, did you notice too, they kind of like close it out with everyone going to bed and Cash was sleeping alone. She had a book in bed with her.
Yes, I did see that.
I sniped that
I think
out.
it's because she's like so over it. She knew she was going home. I think that she knew.
Yeah, I think you just know. I think you know when it's your time. Like when I left, like it was my time. Like I wanted to leave. Like I was close to leaving regardless. Like I would have left the next day probably if I hadn't been sent home. But I think that also what's really interesting is that, like I think I've mentioned this before, the vibe of the villa like after Casa Amor is always really different. Like it has such a tremendous impact on your mindset. Like I feel like you're in such a groove leading up to it, and then Casa Amor happens, and hopefully you have a good time in Casa Amor whether you're pursuing a relationship or you're not. But then when you come back, it is just kind of odd. And I think that this group has had to go through so many changes. And I think that, you know, it obviously is exciting to see that maybe something's going to happen with Cash and Cinco outside the villa. But even regardless of that, like just the absence of his presence, I'm sure was really difficult for her. I think that the most minor of changes in the villa can have just such a tremendous impact on how you're feeling and how you're going about things. And I think that's what you can't really relate to unless you've been in there, is just like how much like the tiniest little difference can make.
Even with like a person, it's even like, even if one person could be added, it could flip the entire vibe of the villa in a good way or bad way sometimes.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, the Josh and Shannon situation sets the tone. I mean, how do you come back from that, especially when it's one of your best friends? Like, obviously, all of them are their best friends, so they're feeling for them, and they kind of have to go on doing all of this stuff that you normally wouldn't do after finding out that kind of information.
It would make me anxious to want to reunite with my
Oh, for
family,
sure.
especially if I wasn't seeing myself connecting there. Like, I would start thinking, I'd probably start really looking at my connection and saying, like, do I have a Josh and Shannon level connection? Like, where I would feel so close to somebody and I would leave the villa with them, and, you know, I feel like it just would cause a lot of people to reevaluate, which is why I think it's interesting that Corey and Olivia found their way back to one another, because who knows, maybe that was a part of it, was everyone probably was looking at themselves a little bit more introspective than they would have before.
I totally agree, and I didn't really think of that before, but you're right. I feel like seeing that as one of the other Islanders, you're like, okay, they have comfort in each other, and they kind of found this like dependability on each other, that you probably sit back and you're like, okay, do I have that too, where I feel like whoever I'm coupled up with or partnered with, would they be there for me like that?
Right? Yeah.
And could I foresee that in the future, picture that, and if not, that would kind of help persuade a decision moving forward of like what you'd want to do.
Yeah.
Which, touching on, we forgot to talk about, like, Shannon leaving with Josh obviously just proved that they're the best couple.
Okay, but I never doubted them. Like, okay, well, on record, I said I did not think that they were going to be swayed in casa. I always said that. I said that they really liked each other. I'm just saying, you guys.
I thought they were going to win.
I feel like they should still win. Can we do like a write-in vote?
I'm curious if Love Island will give the option to vote for them.
I feel like they should, absolutely. I mean, these are extreme circumstances and devastating circumstances that I've watched every season of every version, and this has never happened before.
No, it's insane. It's awful, but
I wish they would just double the ending, whatever, and then just be like, Shannon and Josh get one first place for default, and then we have another one for the Islanders that are still there.
I think, like, the money would be an amazing thing for them to have.
Like, they could do something like traveling or do things that would bring them closer.
Or they could use that to like set up a foundation in his sister's name.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people have thoughts, but so basically I also forgot about the Will and Shannon, like, they kind of made up before she left. I mean, obviously, like, things way bigger outside of their fight are happening outside of the villa. So I thought that was very nice to see.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like, I think it really is hard because you hope that you're going to have contact with everyone outside of the villa, but there's really no guarantees about that. So I'm glad that, you know, I could tell just after that fight that it was weighing heavy on Shannon, and I'm sympathetic because I'm the same way. I'm very fiery, and like, I almost feel like if you try to activate me, you're gonna get it. And like, it's just like, but then I calm down, and then I have like a heart of gold, and I'm so sad that like I did that, and I could just see that in her. So I'm really happy for her that she could leave with the peace of mind of, you know, I've made peace with the situation. I've made peace with him. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think they both realized like this is so much bigger than them and their minor issues they had in the villa, and that, you know, they both, you know, probably were hurting and were like, we should just put this behind us and you know, hug it out. And it was really nice to see that.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
I'm crying. This bone smells
It smells
so bad.
really bad. I'm sorry. It is It is fish, but it's
Oh my
supposed-
god!
It's
Why
a-
did you get a fish bone?
It smells like
It's
a
a
girl's
cod
bathroom
stick.
in here.
Ew, it's like a
Oh,
cod
it's really
stick.
sick.
I know, but it's supposed to be
It's
healthy for
really
dogs. I
sick.
know. My sister was really mad at me for this one the other day. I know, I'm so
It's
sorry.
too much.
Okay, well, we can get rid of
Holy
it. Here, we can get rid of it.
moly.
Back to that.
So I need to know. I'm kind of like going out of the order a little bit, just because I kind of want to touch on before we go out of order. Let's take a break for one of our sponsors.
Yes. Also, the first page is starting on not Thursday's episode. It starts on Friday's episode.
Okay. Perfect.
Keep throwing me in on the floor. I'm like, oh no. If you're looking for an incredible meal kit service, look no further than HelloFresh. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery trips with less prep, less effort, and minimal cleanup. So you have a meal ready in just about 30 minutes. Choose from 50 menu and market items each week, from vegetarian meals to craft burgers and extra special gourmet options, all available. So over the weekend, I cooked the pork sausage and roasted bell pepper pasta. This is what the recipe card looks like. I love these noodles. They're my favorite kind of noodles, the little macaroni and cheese shape, and it was delicious. Very good meal to make. And HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need to easily customize your order on the app within minutes. So just go to hellofresh.com/aftertheisland14 and use code aftertheisland14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/aftertheisland14 and use code aftertheisland14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping.
And another message from our sponsors, BetterHelp. Obviously, we always talk about mental health and how important it is. So if you're looking for therapy, why not try BetterHelp? BetterHelp is professional counseling done securely online. With BetterHelp, you can start communicating with your own licensed therapist in under 48 hours through phone or video, whatever works for you. Just visit betterhelp.com/aftertheisland. That's better, HELP, to join over 1 million people who have used BetterHelp. And you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/aftertheisland. That's 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/aftertheisland. All right, so back to going out of order. I was just thinking about, like, what are your thoughts on Corey and Olivia? I have to know.
I'm happy they've like found each other and come back together, but I'm not completely sold. I would need to like see more of them interacting outside the villa, even though we mentioned the dates are kind of uncomfortable. But some of like the epic dates that they do, or the more excursion based dates, I feel like you can see more of the connection. And I want to see them on like interact, not around everybody and not just like on a couch in the villa. Like that's what I would convince me, is seeing them do more of like an everyday thing together.
Mackenzie?
Did you see my face?
So you're a no-go on that.
I just have reason to believe, based on some conversations that I've had with Islanders that have left, that it might not be
What we think it is?
It to me, like as a viewer, it does, in my point of view, it does look like Olivia is very interested. I do think that girls are so attracted to guys who are good people, and Corey is obviously a very good person. And you know, she finds him attractive, so I can see that. I am a little bit, I'm not 100% sold that Corey has the same kind of interest, but I do think that girls, I've always said this, I think that girls, we dream of like falling in love with our best friend. Like we aim to do that. Like it's but I don't think for guys that's the thing. I think guys are like, if I don't have that instant spark, then you question it and you question it and you question it. But girls, we're like, oh, I just want to fall in love with my best friend. Like, so I just think it's a matter of maybe just Corey getting out of his own head and giving it a shot, you know?
I think too, it was interesting that Corey, I feel like he didn't really feel like, I feel like he was moving totally towards Bailey, leaning towards Bailey. And then Olivia goes on this date with Andre. And I think that made him jealous. And that's where I think his mind shifted. So it's like, I don't even know if that's actually him having feelings for Olivia directly or just feeling the jealousy of the date.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to lose another friend at this
yeah.
point. Like,
I am curious. We're talking to Cash today, so I want to hear her side of it, because I know that she's best friends with both of them, so she might be like very well in their corner.
Yeah.
But I want to hear her side of it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I mean, honestly, like, who else? Who else do we have that's giving us this interesting?
Well, Will and Kyra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
I will say, and I was texting Alex about this when the fight between Shannon and Will happened. I appreciate that Will is being more upfront about the language barrier and about the cultural differences, because I have sensed that from the get-go. And I think while I appreciate that the show wanted to bring somebody in who was so multicultural and like was from a different country, I don't think we can underestimate that some of his behaviors that we're seeing are potentially just part of, you know, his culture and what he is used to. Because I will say, like, when I was in Europe, the dating there, like, the way that guys hit on you, the way that they flirt with you, it is so different from America that part of me is like, maybe we're just reading into what he's doing too much. I don't know. Like, it's really hard to say.
This was something I pointed out at the very beginning, and everyone came for me saying I didn't know what I was talking about. But, like, in my past, like, I've dated people that were, you know, international and whatnot, and, you know, from the same, like, background as him, and the language barrier is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it throws off even sometimes, like, the comedic factor or being able to, like, understand, like, the jokes and stuff. Like, it's very hard, and Will did say this is the first girl I've dated that is not speaking my, you know, main language.
And that I think is really important, because think about, like, when he was saying that, like saying, like, Flo gives her love to me, like, we would interpret that totally differently from probably how it would be translated in Spanish.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I think, I mean, even honestly, quite frankly, people had a hard time understanding Connor, and like people all the time would tell me, I don't know what he's trying to say. And so I just think that, like, we need to be aware here that some people express themselves differently, and it's hard sometimes to understand what they mean. However, like, time will tell as far as what Will's true intentions are. But I do appreciate that he did touch on that more, that he is struggling a bit. But
can we skip to their date? Can we just talk
Yeah.
about it?
we're at a loss for words this episode.
I understand, and I like that he was honest with her about not committing. I want to know, I don't think they're on the same page, because the girls asked her if he asked you to be his girlfriend, would you say yes? And she was like, oh, 100%. But like, she agreed with him that they were on this road together of finding out, like, if they are compatible that way. I don't know, it just seemed like they were on completely different pages.
Mm-hmm.
They totally are. I mean, a few episodes back, she was saying, like, they're like, do you love him? Do you love him? And, like, she wouldn't even answer. She would just smile and be like, and it was kind of like the silence was the answer. And I've worried that's going to be a problem for them that will come up immediately when they leave the villa and they enter real world, is that them not being on the same page might be able to slide in the villa. But I don't know if I think that's going to be their number one obstacle the minute they leave, is that they're not on the same page.
I just wish that we had, like, honestly, just thinking about the fact that this season is close to coming to a close, like, I wish that we had just gotten to know Kyra better.
I know.
Like, I don't feel like we know her at all. Like, I feel like we're always thinking about Will and what Will is about and his behavior. But, like, sadly, like, we really haven't gotten to know Kyra. And I do think that Cinco touched on it that time when he said that he felt like Kyra was trying to fit into Will's mold and Flo was the mold. And I don't think that he was necessarily wrong there. It doesn't mean that Kyra and Will aren't suited. Like, maybe they are. But I do feel like we're not getting to see Kyra's personality, whether that's just editing, we're not seeing enough of it. But that's what I think is sad, because, like, how can we comment on their relationship when, like, we don't even really know what Kyra's like?
I think it's a combination of the two. I think editing plays a huge part in it, yes, that she's not being shown and her personality. So it's not like she's just mute the whole time. But I think also her being so into Will and so fixated on that and really not much else is also playing into it. Like, it feels like it's 50-50 of why we don't know.
But do you
who
think
she
she's
is.
partially thrown herself into the thing with Will because she feels kind of like that's really all she has? Because think about the way she reacted when the girls didn't vote to save her first. She took like a big offense to that. And I think she does kind of feel like a little, you can tell that she doesn't quite feel in, like, I don't know. I'm reading the body language that she doesn't quite feel like the girls are her people. Like, she feels like Will is her person.
Which, like, I do understand, but also when we talk to all the Islanders, they do say that they seclude themselves immensely.
Oh,
that
for
they
sure.
are, like, only together. They really don't talk to anyone else. So, like, honestly, what do you expect at that point? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, your girls have your back and all that kind of stuff. But after they watch you go through all of those kinds of things, and then you're, like, just blindly, I don't want to say blindly because we don't know the whole story, but what it looks like is that you're kind of just sticking by this guy and you don't really care what your friends have to say about it. So, like, how are you getting so mad when I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a tough, I think it's like, I agree that it definitely could be them isolating themselves, and I'm not saying it's not, but I do think that it is clear that she's not leaning on the girls in the same way, and as the other girls aren't necessarily leaning on each other. And I think that, you know, that can really, in that environment, if you're not fostering the friendships enough, like, you will get, like, caught up in your relationship, and, like, that's happened to me, like,
And I think that's going to affect them on the outside as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yeah.
In a negative way.
no, for sure. They will definitely probably be the most tested as far as like the difference between villa life and real life, I feel like.
For sure. I just needed to know. Like, also the maze sent me. I was like, what's going on?
The
Where
challenge,
did they find this?
this bunny rabbit challenge was so odd to me. Like, there were so many challenges I think that could have
They like ran out of
sparked
budget or
interest.
something.
It was just like, what? Like, when we did that exact challenge, it was like so similar, but we got to go on, we had to build a paddleboard, blow it up, and then go around obstacles in the ocean where we were all like drowning, but like, it was so fun. Like, this challenge, I would have been bored out of my mind if I was participating in it even.
Well, how did we go from like the Bridgerton challenge where I was so jealous and I was so pissed because their outfits were so
I know.
insane to like these last
This.
couple?
Well, like, it's funny because I did start watching the UK version. Like, I did watch the UK version instead of last night, until this morning. But they just did the same thing, like cat and mouse, but it was so much funnier. Like,
Where they had to dance
yes.
in the tub with the milk.
But yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
they
milk
like
one.
locked them in the cage and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the UK is unmatched, I'm not gonna lie. I literally binged it this entire weekend.
Yeah, the UK is something else. I mean, I think that all of us, when you're losing like this many big people to the show, like
Yeah.
we've lost so many over the course of the last couple of weeks, it doesn't even feel like the same show anymore. And that's not to discredit the people that are still on there, because the people that are still on there, I think it says a lot about the people that are there, that it seems to still just be such a positive energy and they still seem to be getting along so well. And I think that's a big testament to like what kind of people everybody is. Like, they're very good people. But it is really odd because I do feel like this season people really, I don't know if they took notes from watching our seasons, but I feel like they weren't investing themselves as much in long-term relationships, and they were more open. Like, all they talked about was I'm open. Like, truly in my season, that was not a thing.
In our season, like, all the random makeouts were nowhere near what it's like this season. It feels like they're either saying I'm open or they're playing truth or dare and making out with somebody. And I'm like, I'm sick of watching them all just make out with each other and play truth or dare. Like, that is not interesting to me.
I'm not gonna lie, and the people that watch UK are only gonna get this, but I had dual things going on, dual screens. Did I choose watching Millie and Liam fight over Casa more over watching Kyra and Will's date? Yes. I did. I'm sorry. It's just like I'm not invested in any couple.
But they fought because they had a deep connection. And that's the
Right.
thing, is like these couples like aren't making these very deep connections.
The chemistry is just very, very off, and I think a lot of that has to do with what the vibe is when people come in, because you're going to adjust yourself to what the vibe is when you're entering. So it feels like even from the start, it was almost doomed based on the matchness isn't not a word, but you know, the chemistry of the group. Like, I wish that it was a completely different order. I think like Will should never have came in when he did. I think he should have come in
later.
way later,
Mm-hmm.
because then we would have gotten to know Kyra before she met Will. And there was just so many people out of place that I wish that, knowing what we know now, we could go back and mix up the whole order. And I think it would have made a much more interesting season. But also, it feels like people are focused on not what Love Island feels like normally.
Yeah.
Like, the focus is very weird to me.
I feel like they're just like waiting for the next thing to come in.
And it doesn't feel like they're focused on winning, though. It feels like they're like, it doesn't feel like that's it either, even though I feel like that's like a possible like answer. It feels like it would be the answer of why it feels so off, but it's not. It's like something else.
Well, when you see people like, I love them to death, but Trina and Olivia and Corey make it this far when they haven't, and Jeremy. When
Jeremy
they
is the cockroach of the season. I swear to God. I will say it. I love him. He is a cockroach. He could outstand World War III. Holy shit. He literally has made it through every recoupling being saved. Every single time. I need to know what is so special.
Also, have you noticed what Mackenzie brought up, how your season was mostly guys recoupling? If we counted it out, I feel like it's been mainly guys picking this season as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what's up
if
with
you
that?
want me to go on a rant about misogyny in this country, like, I will get into it. But
do.
which is why I think I appreciated such strong females that we've seen this season, because otherwise, can you imagine what the dynamic would be? Like, because the guys really have had the power. Like, otherwise, how would some guys have stayed around as long as they have? Like, but it is just truly interesting to me, and I think that this should be a lesson to people potentially for next year and for the show for next year, is really like making sure that the people going in are really focused on finding a true connection and giving it time to grow.
Exactly.
It feels like instead of asking the contestants that when interviewing, they ask them instead, are you open to just making out with everyone on the show?
I've said multiple times, I feel like I'm on Too Hot to Handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will. Okay, so this is what I see that I've been comparing the two, like why the UK is so successful and why the US has kind of like struggled to keep its viewers hanging on, like for wanting more. The UK has their own banter, they have their own words, they have all of these things that make them so unique, and we don't. I mean, like using the word fanny flutters in the US, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. Like, people get it that watch the UK, but like, can we not come up with our own things? I think that like the conversations have to change. Just asking where someone's head at every 5 seconds, and that's all we hear, is just like, it's not gonna make us want to tune in again and again.
Most conversations feel really forced.
Yes.
Do you think that the US producers here should have pushed the lingo even from season 1 onto us, like getting us to use the word banter, getting us to use... Do you think that would have helped at all, or no?
Because I don't think that that's true to us. Like, Americans are Americans. I mean, there's a reason why everyone's obsessed with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Like, they don't have banter, but I think it's just that people are afraid to open up in the same way. Like, the UK, they really are truly opening up, and the ones that don't open up usually go home.
Exactly.
I also feel like if you watch the UK, their system for sending people home, they really gave people a chance to try to form. Most of the time in the UK, if you come in, you get to recouple.
Yep.
Like, you get to pick someone to recouple with. And I think that the way that they just kept throwing more and more people in the season, like 2 sets of 3 girls, are they joking? And those girls went on a date with Corey, like 3 on 1. Like, it's just like they had no chance. It's like none.
They have to switch it up. Like, the UK, they just keep switching it up. Like, oh, between the couple that's dumped, one of you has to figure out who's going home. It's either one of you, choose. Like, that you want to see, because you're watching 2 people who like you are kind of invested in now have to pick between each other or leave together.
it makes no sense. And also, Alex and I were talking the other day, Mackenzie, we wanted to see in our season when Katrina and Kristen came in at the end of the first night, they got to spend a night in any of the beds they wanted and send then the two girls to the hideaway together, and that gave them more of a chance. That's what ended up letting them both stay, because that's what persuaded them. They had more time. They had more of a chance.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a chance, like you said, when you're going on a 3-on-1 date with the one guy that's like open, but
not
has
really
had trouble
open.
connecting with everybody.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, I think they had a good formula for my season. Like, I think they had the right flow of people. I just think they needed to find people that were more into each other. Like, but I think that something that production is going to have to think about moving forward is, as this show has now grown, you're going to have to look harder for people that are coming for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Because for our seasons, it wasn't big enough yet for people to say, I'm going to do the show. It wasn't a guarantee of becoming Instagram famous.
Exactly.
It was really to find love. But now I feel like they're going to have to really look hard for people that are there to find love, to form connections. And I hope they can do that, because it makes it so much more interesting when they do.
I'm like, I wish they would let me come in and interview some of these people, or like, I need to like
after the sun,
like,
or after sun.
yeah, I wish we
After Sun would be sick.
Yeah, I just wish that I could come for like the finals at least and be like, I can tell you right now, no one is gonna connect with this person, or you should put this person in halfway through because everyone's gonna love them.
Yeah.
And like, even though I'm not that I know all, I just am like,
They really should have
confused,
consultants like that are our age or something, or like
Yeah,
have been on the show,
I
because I
agree.
feel like we can read
through.
we can read through it so well. Like, why don't they have one of us on staff?
I don't know.
I know, but
Ben,
Can you imagine?
your move.
Ben,
Ben,
Oh,
Simon, your move.
shout out to Ben. Love you. Miss you.
Love you so much.
We love you.
We love you, Ben.
I want to come help. Give me, you know my number.
I'm also like, Mandy,
my number.
you're killing it in the UK with all of this drama.
Right? All right, let's take a quick moment to hear from another one of our sponsors. If you're looking for jewelry that's sustainable, chic, and affordable, you need to check out Ana Luisa. It's spelled ANALUISA. It is the first direct-to-consumer jewelry brand to become carbon neutral, and their jewelry is absolutely gorgeous. This means for all the CO2 they produce during the creation of their jewelry, the running of their business, and the shipping of their orders, it's all counterbalanced with the same amount of oxygen. How great is that? I have on a piece right now from Ana Luisa. It's a very...
Oh,
yeah, I have that one too. I love it. Very simple, beautiful, dainty piece of jewelry. It's great quality. I'm actually very impressed with this brand. I actually wore and owned their stuff before we even started working with them. So Ana Luisa, the puppy likes it too. That's ANALUISA. It starts at just $39 a piece right now, and you can get 20% off with their summer sale. Seriously, don't sleep on this. Again, we absolutely recommend checking out Ana Luisa. Just go to shop.analuisa.com/aftertheisland. We love them. Their pieces start at $39, and you can get 20% off their summer sale right now. #AnaLuisa NY.
And it is time to talk hair. If you are worried about weak or thinning hair, then you should try Nutrafol. The supplement is clinically shown to improve hair growth and thickness with less shedding. I talk about it every time. I love my Nutrafol. My mom loves it. Go get yourself some. Nutrafol offers 2 targeted formulas for women that are clinically shown to improve hair growth and thickness with less shedding through all stages of life. But remember, healthier hair growth takes time. You'll begin to experience thicker, stronger, faster growing hair in 3 to 6 months. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code AFTERTHEISLAND to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code AFTERTHEISLAND.
Can we talk about...
I'm going to pee my pants. I literally have to go pee.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Mackenzie, can we talk about Cash being sent home? This was very surprising to me because I thought there would be no way that she ended up going home before the finals. Like, I just thought that the producers of the show would do everything they could to keep her because she's, I feel like, an obvious fan favorite and, personal favorites of one of our personal favorites as well, too. I was just very shocked by this, even though you could kind of sense it in a way. Like, it still was like, it felt like some way, somehow they would end up saving her.
Yeah, but I think that it really, obviously they probably could have stepped in and done something, but the fact of the matter is, like, I think she was ready to go home.
Yeah.
And I know that I probably try to relate too much to my season, everything that's happening, but like I was saying to you guys earlier, it's eerily like what happened to me in the sense of it was extremely unexpected. You took a chance on somebody after Casa and More, said goodbye to your previous connection because they could not make up their mind. And you took a chance on something new and it didn't pan out. And I'm just really proud of her for sticking to her guns and accepting that maybe, you know, she was ready to leave, because I think that she obviously was so beloved by everybody in there. And I think that that says a lot about, you know, her intentions and what she was hoping to get out of this whole experience. And I think it shows she was truly there for love. I don't think anyone was questioning that, but I think that it really shows that she was there to find a true connection. And I think that she realized that that connection, you know, might have walked out the door in Cinco. But it definitely feels very quiet. It feels like the heart and soul left the villa when Shannon and Josh and Cash left.
Like, it's crazy that all three of them are gone now, because I feel like they brought, you know, all three of them together, felt like they were all carrying the show. And, you know, it was like they were so majority of like what made up Love Island this season that it's so crazy that just like that, all three of them are gone.
Well, such big personalities, especially amongst the group of girls. Like Shannon and Cash were the biggest personalities out of all of them. And so that's just like a huge loss. But I mean, it's truly unbelievable. Like, I just did not see that coming. Like, if I had predicted the recoupling, I would have said that like maybe Jeremy and Bailey, but I would have thought that Corey would have saved Cash. And then I thought that Olivia was going to end up with Andre. So my guess was like way off. Like,
so was mine. I was very thrown off by this.
Yeah.
Did you guys what were you talking about? Sorry.
Cash going home.
Yeah.
The worst thing to ever happen. Truly the worst thing to ever happen to the show.
I can only imagine what the production booth was feeling when that happened.
Terrible.
There was probably
pain.
Round of shots.
Pain.
Time
They
to
were
take
like,
some shots
"Cheers
to
to the
numb the
season."
pain. Numb the pain.
Well,
Cheers. Well, it's been a good season, but it's done now. I think it's over.
Did we touch on I can't even speak, sorry. Trina and Cash matching in their dashikis.
It was beautiful.
Literally.
I wanted to.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
A moment.
I like really loved it. It was also obvious, like they knew one of them was going home.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
When you pull out your
I thought so
outfit,
too.
that's when you
Yeah.
that's when
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they probably didn't know like which one, but I think Cash had a feeling.
Yeah.
I think she did from the whole Charlie situation.
I feel like Trina had a feeling too, but I think
Yeah.
Trina also knew she, not like in an arrogant sense at all, but knew she was the one that was more open to being there and staying and more open to possibly finding love. So I feel like that's why she maybe felt deep down that at least she hoped maybe it would be her staying.
Yeah.
Can we touch on the clap heard around the villa?
Stop. That was so funny.
You guys,
Oh my gosh,
I've never seen a
cracking
man
up.
not read the room more than Andre. I love him. He's my favorite guy.
He really is
He
great.
showed up like in these past 2 episodes.
Here's why that happened. It's because even if they don't show it, people clap for each of the pickings
Yes.
except for the last one. Like, you clap when someone makes their decision every time except for the last one. And maybe he hasn't watched Love Island, but normally you don't really clap when someone goes home. just
Yeah.
'cause that's, you know.
It's
just so it was just
it
hilarious.
would be a
'cause he
very
probably
different
thought that's what he should
situation
be
if
doing.
like I feel like if Jeremy was sitting there clapping or something. I think
literally.
clearly Andre didn't
Like,
really know what was going
surveyed
on.
the room, but it was so funny how he kind of like, because I know people were kind of a little off it because they were like, what the hell, like Cash went home, why are you clapping? But I truly don't think he understood because it was his first recoupling and he was just like,
oh right, he had no idea.
and then like the slow clap started and then he was just like, and Trina literally sat there just deadpan like did not crack a smile. She didn't elbow him, and then they had that conversation and I was crying. He was like, I did not read
He
the room.
felt so bad. Cash is such a sweet girl, though. I don't think she was offended by it.
I think that if anything brought a little more lightheartedness to the situation.
Yeah.
He's looking around like, oh no, I'm clapping.
Yeah.
Did you see the post Love Island posted where like it was the clip of him
Okay,
clapping
but-
and then you scroll to like other things and he just comes up like
Clapping.
in
Yeah.
different scenes?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
They have really stepped up their social media. Love Island's Instagram page has been very funny. Even their captions have been hilarious. Okay, let's talk about. Can we talk about the challenge where the girls
Wait,
became?
should we talk about Charlie?
Oh, we haven't even talked
We
about
haven't
that.
even talked about him.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you feel about his recoupling speech to Alana?
Odd.
Odd, right?
Odd.
It was off. I don't know. I don't want to slander anyone, but I just don't get the vibe from him. He's got to go.
Yeah, it's just really, it's so hard to read these people. Like,
It's hard with this edit to make
Yes.
a judgment on what I think because I'm not getting enough of anything to know. It's
I don't
He's getting a rough at it for sure.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, I think that it's a shame that Cinco had to go home, in order for him to stay, because I think that we could have maybe gotten a clearer sense of who Charlie was. But I feel like there was such a pressure on his relationship with Cash and on that whole situation. Because Cinco went home in order for, for him to stay and pursue things with Cash. So it's just like, I just wish that Cinco could have stayed, obviously, because I think he and Cash would have inevitably gotten back together. And then I think we could have gotten a clearer sense of who Charlie is, whether that's a good person, a bad person, a meh person. Like, we just really, it's so hard to tell in this context who he is.
Right. I think what
Exactly.
threw me off too was his conversation with Cash, where he kind of told her that he was like all in on her and then said the same thing to Alana or Elaine. Oh my God. Alana. I'm like, holy crap. The way everyone pronounces her name on the show too. Like, it's just all different.
Atlanta minus the T.
Yeah.
I got the weirdest vibe when they were standing on the balcony talking, looking down on everyone. It like
Yes.
reminded me of like a scene from a movie where like the villain is up in the tower like plotting their like destruction of the
Oh, we're doing another
of the
character.
villain. I know, I'm sorry guys. But it's like that's kind of I was like a weird feeling.
I wouldn't put it past them to like purposely put them up there for that reason.
Oh no.
Oh,
me
I'm
neither.
sure that it had nothing to do with it at all. It just painted a picture more.
Yeah. So he picked Alana.
Yeah. But she is
Atlanta.
she does seem like a really fantastic girl.
She does.
Yeah.
She seems like she holds her own extremely well.
We get a lot from her for getting nothing.
Exactly. That's the exact way to put it.
She is a perfect example of someone I would be like, yes, put her in right away. Yes, she would be a great cast for the show.
I think she should have been one of the first bombshells.
I agree.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
She's great. She brings personality with like such little we're seeing, which means she's bringing it probably all the time, which is easier for her to be getting a good edit.
I totally agree. Do you watching the episode kind of seeing the way that Charlie swayed back to saying like I miss Cash. By the way, shout out to freaking Trina for saying those were crocodile tears.
Oh, I love
Trina being a savage.
She blew up when she got in that room. She was like, "He's fake. I don't like him." Like,
We're finally getting to see Trina's personality again, and I'm just like, thank God,
Yeah.
because we
Yes.
saw it the first week, and it was amazing, and then we didn't get to see it for a long time, and we're seeing it again, and like, shout out to Trina for being a girl's girl and just coming
now the
through,
show.
like,
Is now the show because she calls him out, and I love that about her.
yeah,
Like
it's like she got all her confidence back, and this is what we saw at the beginning that was like gone through all these like tough
Mhm.
situations she was put through, and now it's back, and it feels good to feel like she's gotten through that while being there.
Yeah, and I will say about like Charlie now saying like, "Oh, I miss Cash." Charlie seems like the type of guy that on the outside would take months to commit to somebody.
Yes.
Like when I say months, I mean years. No, I'm
Yes.
just kidding.
AKA like, no commitment whatsoever.
AKA situationships
That's
for
what-
life.
yes.
So I just think that like the pressure for him of having to make these commitments one way or another, even though he said, like, even though he put it on Cash and was like, I don't feel like you're all in on me and that's why I'm not opening up. Like, do we buy that? Like, do we?
No.
I'm not buying what he's selling. I'm returning it to the store. I'm going somewhere else. Like, I
Agreed.
just don't want it.
Yeah, I don't believe I wish he was more upfront and honest with, like, I just don't feel it with you, not like, oh, it's because you still, I think this about Cinco, or it's like he's deflecting.
That was an ego thing.
Yeah,
That
he's like deflecting.
his ego was wounded. He's a 30-year-old man, and he was hurt.
Is he 30?
He's
old?
30 years
No,
old,
don't say
people.
that old.
Well, like, I'm saying that old for the attitude I'm seeing. I thought he was like 22.
No, he is a grown-ass man, and that is why
That's a
his
problem.
his ego was
That is a huge
wounded. How
problem.
old is Cinco? 25? 26?
I think he's 25. I think he
Okay,
said that.
so if you're a dude and you're clearly very proud of yourself and what you've accomplished in life, you're 30 years old, and then this young buck is like threatening you, it's just a wound to your ego.
Yeah.
But whether he liked Cash, whether that was true, whether it was genuine, whether he likes Alana, I just think that Charlie is the type of guy that in this process is always going to struggle because you have to be willing to put yourself out there, and he so clearly is not willing to. Yet he is going to be critical of Cash
Yep.
for doing exactly that thing.
Yep.
I'm just not over the fact that he's 30 and like this. I'm shocked. I know, like, I'm just picturing, like, even the maturity of, like, my little brothers, and it just, like, what?
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I can't believe I didn't know that either. I guess I just assumed because of what I've seen.
About to kiss me.
It was getting really romantic over there.
Really this, Sherry.
I'm getting bit right now. I'm
Um,
trying to.
No, I was like, must we remember? Corey is also 29 and acts like an actual
What?
fifth grader.
Corey's 29? Stop.
Eighth grade to me. He reminds me of,
Stop.
like, eighth grade, like, I'm gonna write her a note today and tell her that I like her, and then but no one else tell her because, like, she can't find out before third period. So, like, I'm gonna put it in her locker, and then, like, smiling about it.
You
Like,
guys-
that's the vibe I get from him.
I envy Corey's attitude though.
Same.
Like
I wish I had the amount of energy, the amount of lust.
the
amount-
yes, the lust, the just like the empathy for others, the excitement about like honestly, this man is just he seems like he would just be such a happy person to be around, and I'm really quite envious, but gosh, it is really interesting. I wish that we should create a chart and like put all their ages on
Yes.
there, and maybe we can do a test of does age really matter?
Yes, that's
No, I
actually
like
such a
that.
good thing. We should do that.
We should whiteboard it out tomorrow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think that here's my take is I do think that age is kind of a toss up until you're 34, and then once you're 34, if you're not mature, then you have problems. But like I do think that like once you hit 34, that's the sweet spot, ladies. Just speaking from experience, 34 or older, they should be mature, but anything less.
Use code after the island 34 when purchasing a new man.
Been shopping around for a new
Yeah,
man.
topic for your
Please.
boyfriend. Use
Can we
code
do a
after
Love
the
Island in their
34.
30s? Can we do like a Love Island
Literally.
just in their 30s,
No,
like
that-
dating in
no,
your
that
30s?
scares me because I'm gonna be like, they don't belong on this version.
Like, no, but I'm saying just people in their 30s.
I know. I'm saying some of them. I'm gonna be convinced they're not 30.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I just think that'd be really interesting to watch.
I'm actually crying. Like, can we talk about? Can we talk about the girls going undercover? Like,
Yes.
that's my favorite thing of the show.
I
Yeah.
love they hashtagged it International Super Spies. They pulled that right from TikTok. I love it. I'm like, okay, Gen Z may be coming back for the show, but that was so funny. My favorite was the smoothie. I'm not over that. She
Oh my god,
literally.
it was so funny.
So it was Trina with who did I write? Who was it? Was it
It was with Casey.
Casey? Okay, so fun. I almost said Andre with Casey, and she's like, my tummy hurts. Like I'm not feeling good. Like can you make me a smoothie? Like, I just don't want to do it. And he's like, yeah. And like, I just love that she even got him to carry her over there.
Casey seems really, really nice,
it was
though.
so nice.
He does.
And I caught something from it that's so funny. So they make this disgusting smoothie. She's like pointing to random objects, being like, yeah, put an egg in there, put salad in there, put cheese string. Half a cheese string. Like, he's like, this is a good smoothie. So he makes the 2 smoothies and he downs his entire smoothie. And she's like, I just can't drink it. Like, I don't feel good. And he was kind of offended, but not as like, it wasn't the reaction we wanted. Instead, he is so proud of this smoothie. You see him and it's in the background. They don't really show this, and I wish they did because I caught it in the back. He brings the extra smoothie over to the gym where the guys are working out and is trying to pawn it off to other people like he's so proud of himself. He was trying to get the other guys to drink his creation because he said, I never make smoothies. I don't know how to do it. You need to tell me. So he really believed that is how you make a smoothie.
And the one that cures stomach problems,
yes.
mind you.
But it would actually give you a stomach problem. I wonder if he had stomach problems from drinking that.
Problems from the smell of it.
The smell of the bone is too much.
Really
the
bad.
other one that really had me crying was Ellie doing the meow to Charlie, because Charlie is such, like, he's the guy that literally would look at you and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and that's exactly what he did. And, you know, I love a man who can laugh at himself, and he's just sitting there like, what are you doing? I'm not doing that. And she's like, come on, just meow. And he's like, meow. I was like, come on.
I hate when guys can't take a joke.
I know.
Take a joke.
It was so clever that she went from the
Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you.
She went from the downward dog into trying to do like the cat noises. Thank you guys.
Doesn't she realize it's downward dog, not downward cat?
Yeah.
That's why she was trying to like take a play off of that. It was smart. It was tactical.
There you go. That makes sense.
I'm crying though. Like, someone just said the look on his face. It was pure comedy. Like, he was just like, there is something wrong with this woman. Like, what is she doing? And she even said, she was like, he thinks that I'm the weirdest human being now. Like, the weirdest human. But I love her for that. She's hilarious. She's freaking funny. Were there any other good ones?
Let's see. No.
He drank it. ...
I can't believe he drank it.
Oh, Kyra gets Corey. Oh, they paint
Braid her
Will's
hair.
nails.
Oh yeah.
Nails. Who Olivia gets Will to, like, Will's all for it. Like, ask no questions. He was just like, yeah, like, this is stunning. I love it. Like, I love a man who can rock a nail polish. Let's be honest. Like,
Do you?
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And he didn't, like, he's obviously very okay with himself to the point where he feels comfortable, like, doing that. And I love that.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know why I thought of this, but like, could we picture Will going to hang out with like all the TikToker
Lil
boys,
Huddy.
like Lil Huddy, and like, what if Will after the show becomes like best friends with like Taylor Holder and like the little TikTok crew?
I could see it.
I could see
you
it.
just reminded me. Alana looks like Addison Rae, her twin.
I think she
Does
looks like
she?
Rosalie from Twilight.
I'm not
Yes.
saying any of these. I think she just
But
looks
Addison
like Alana.
Rae, if you look at a picture of her head on, like, it's insane.
Alana's just like so hot. I just see
She's
her
so
like
hot.
she's just like in a league of her own.
Oh my god. Look at a picture of them next to each other. You'll just, it's insane.
I got like the sexy vampire vibes from her, like as Rosalie. I have like the weirdest comparisons for people if you guys haven't noticed. Like the most random things. I'm like, oh, that one person. Oh my gosh, Alex, I wrote this down because I meant to ask you. You're gonna die, and you're gonna die too at this. If you watch on Paramount Plus, the commercial ad they're running right now is for
something?
Chad Michael Murray is in the commercial.
The hotels.com.
Yes,
one?
hotels.com. It's Chad Michael Murray.
I
Yeah.
have no commercials, so I didn't see it.
It's Chad Michael Murray.
It's him like
Hotels.com
debating
What's
to
he
go on like a
doing?
bachelor trip or
Yes.
something, and he like starts crying in the rain.
and crying in the rain.
What?
Yes.
A Cinderella story moment?
Yeah. Me into a commercial this many years later.
Wow.
Does he need to go on Love Island?
Yes. We need to get Chad my CMM.
Oh my god, I used to
Chad
think
Michael Murray,
I
yeah.
used to think he was so cute.
I was a Nathan supporter.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know those existed.
Bland, I know. I like him bland.
I'm
I was
blown
more Nate,
away.
too. I was more Nate too. I'm not into the blonde guys. I
I'm
like
not
darker
typically,
features.
but just like I just feel like Nathan just gave off just like I'm gonna I don't know, gave off like aggressive vibes to me.
Chad Michael Murray just gave me like the vibe of every single guy that went to my guy's high school. So I was like, it's not it for me. Like he thinks he's really gonna just be an athlete and like shine like the star he is.
See, that reminds me that when they were doing like the face changers of like turning your face into a guy's face. Okay, so we did this in our group chat. It was like me, Sally, Justine, Carrington, Bennett, and I think Moira were like all in a group chat randomly about something. And they were all doing it. And they do my face and turn it into a guy's face. And Sally is like, oh my God, Big Mac, you are every guy I ever hooked up with who never called me back.
Stop.
So
That is so funny.
apparently I look like a douchey frat guy as a guy. I would like to think I would have treated Sally better, but
We did this in my old college friends group chat, and my picture of what I looked like was so terrifying to me. It looked like I looked like the needy guy at the bar that would try to buy you a drink that you would hide from.
No, Elizabeth
And like
had,
not
a
even
goatee.
not even want a free drink. Like
Elizabeth had that mustache that like they just leave it because like it looks like they're growing hair above their lip, but there's no facial hair anywhere else.
And
she looked like
mustaches.
she'd be like, "Hey baby, you want a drink?" Like,
I just
the guy that you truly leave the bar for because you don't want to be in the same place.
I gave myself cringe vibes as a man. Good thing I'm not. Okay, can we talk about the recoupling?
Yes.
Did we not talk about the recoupling?
No,
We didn't?
no.
Oh my God, we're so out of order. I'm
I
all
know.
over the place.
Well, that's how they ended it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Last episode ended with a recoupling.
How
a whole couple gets
a couple
dumped.
gets dumped.
Oh, but then we saw
The couple
the
gets
couple
dumped.
get dumped.
Exactly. We didn't
We
talk
did
about
see,
it.
we
Oh.
did see the couple get
That's
dumped.
not a recoupling.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
dumping.
you're
You
right.
guys
It was a
really
big
threw me
fat
off.
dumping.
My
I
A
was
big
like,
fat
did they
dumping.
recouple and then dump somebody? Yeah, okay. Well, we saw that coming though. They just like really phased them out of the entire episode. Like they were not in it. They had the friend
Yeah.
zone conversation.
Yeah,
and
they were
then-
donezo from the beginning. She said that she was vibing with herself.
Yeah.
Ellie, sorry, not she. Ellie.
yeah.
They're just friends, and it's unfortunate because they're both great. Like they said, they're both great people individually.
Yeah.
but they're just not a couple. And
I think Casey could have gotten there. I just think he needed more time.
Yeah.
I don't think Ellie could have gotten.
I don't think
there.
she could have.
Yeah.
I think he could have.
Yeah.
No. But them together, they weren't adding to the villa in any way, like the chemistry of the villa wise. And I think that's probably why
Other
it's
than
smarter that
niceness.
there's a what?
Just niceness. They're just nice people.
Yeah, they are. But I'm saying for the group to come back together and be a tight knit group, given the three people that just left that were so detrimental to the group, you know, Cash, Josh, and Shannon, that it's important to maybe shrink it down a little to get everyone close together again.
Well, I think that probably the girls that are close to Cash are gonna have a hard time with Charlie in there. So I feel like it's gonna throw off the vibe the whole rest of the time. I feel like.
I
until
think
he
Alana's
goes.
Alana. Oh my god, I hate that I keep saying that. Alana is just completely off of it too, because I know that she was like, I have Charlie's back, all this stuff, I understand, but she was definitely annoyed when the girls told her that he was saying he kind of not regretted but was missing Cash, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's gonna take much of his shit.
I mean, I think she knows her worth. She seems like, this is the type of girl that like I would date. Like if I was a dude, I would be super into her. And I think she knows her worth. And I think, I wouldn't doubt that things like if I were to predict, I don't think that they're going to go up from here if I had to guess. But what we also need to talk about though is I know that we don't like to talk about him because like he is the cockroach, but
Jeremy, I love him.
but
No,
we-
I love him. I've come to the
like a
conclusion
cute
that
like a
I
cute
will love him.
cockroach with like a bow tie on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I honestly, it's getting kind of endearing at this point.
It is.
Like
There must be
I
something.
agree.
We're
I
missing
agree.
something.
I just need to sneak in the villa at night with some scissors to give him a haircut, so then I can see what he.
what he really looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I can't.
feel like
see
that's
past
his
the
back
long
hair.
That's his thing, though.
I know, but I have to see past it. And
I
I
couldn't-
can't unless I got it.
I couldn't
farquadness.
I couldn't imagine his hair any other way though.
Me neither. I can't see him with a cut hair, except he did
That's why I need
have
to cut it.
he did have short hair on his Instagram in one of his modeling photos though,
What
and
did
he
you
looked
think?
so hot.
Should
like,
you post it like to the
yeah, we're gonna put it up and say which hair do you prefer?
Oh my god, yes, a
Farquad,
poll.
Farquad or like a
Elizabeth
Matt
style.
Damon style.
Wow.
Or Elizabeth. Yeah,
I'm
Elizabeth
excited to see this
go-to.
already. But what do we think about him and Bailey?
I knew that they were gonna couple up. Like Bailey just was off Corey. I did not see it.
Yes, but I also think Jeremy is very off Bailey. I don't think he is into
Really?
her at all.
You guys, can we imagine if Florida had stayed in the villa?
Dude, if Florida, Amy, Wes.
Okay, no, but Amy and Wes are so happy outside of the villa.
Agreed, but I would have liked to see their relationship progress because I wanted
In
to
the
see
villa.
a
Not
real
seeing any of
relationship.
that, Yeah.
Yeah. But I just mean more of like these people that are so. I feel like if you look back and you think about the people that left, how big of an impact they would have made. I think had Florida stayed and had Cinco stayed, I think that things would have happened very, very differently.
What if Love Island had like Exile Island, so you get cut off and you go to
That's what they do on the challenge. They have like
and then they could possibly put you back in if they see it like being fit. They should have done that this year because
Yeah.
the chemistry was so off and the order was so off that they should have just kept people in holding and then put them back in.
I really feel like they absolutely should have done that, and then you could have like followed it. They should have used those extra episodes, like of
do
all
that,
these
to
other
turn
things,
up
to do
plus
that
stuff, to do that.
instead.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
I want the US to be like the UK.
CBS,
This is my ending thoughts.
do you need a creative producer for me to come help?
Wait, so people are saying in the chat that the Twitter challenge is coming.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
I didn't know that it was actually happening. Someone said it was canceled.
No, I guess it's back. There were a lot of people
Like,
saying it.
What do you think is going to be said? Honestly, at this point, there's not really.
what is there to say?
It's weird because it feels like they need to bring everyone together, and instead it feels like that's just going to divide everyone again. And I'm like, we're already divided. The more you keep dividing, the less and less we get as viewers.
Well, you know that things are going to be said about Casa more, which I think Will and Kyra are way past. It's
know,
not
it's
going
not
to
gonna
affect
affect
them
them.
in any way.
How is anybody gonna be affected by any of this?
Corey and
Maybe-
Olivia, I don't see being
maybe-
affected.
Maybe they'll try to stress. They're gonna pick up on the other things though. They're gonna do. Who is said to have a girlfriend right now? Oh, Andre apparently has a girlfriend. People are saying like they're gonna
What?
pick up on stuff that's not actually true. Like they're gonna go after the things that sparked the internet attention that may be totally false just to stir everything
yeah,
up.
that's true.
I also think they'll go after. Of course, I'm drawing a blank now. There's so
Flo's tweet.
Yeah, they'll go after that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they'll go after wait, shoot, you take over. I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say. They were
I
gonna go
mean,
after.
they're
It was
gonna
something
probably
very
they're
obvious
gonna
to
say
get
something
the
about Corey and
people to.
Olivia for sure.
I
It's
just
probably
don't really know what it's gonna be.
it's gonna be like it's
Oh.
gonna be like one of them is just in it to win it. I'm sure.
I think they're gonna go after Will and Kyra knowing each other before and stress that to the whole villa.
Do you think?
But they are.
Maybe.
I think the flow thing is more of the thing.
I don't know. I don't know what approach they're gonna take with this.
I feel like
'cause
it'll be the
honestly,
nail
I
in the
feel like no one really
coffin
cares.
For like Charlie and Alana. It'll be like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
and she'll
I mean,
be like, boy,
especially
bye.
if there's things that she doesn't know that we have seen that are.
Yeah, we started to see her picking up on not liking him and being like, "That's sketch." Like she didn't. She was like, "I thought he was past this, and he's still talking about the Cash Cinco stuff." Like, why was he still talking about it?
She seems like a no bullshitter. Like once she sees smoke, she knows there's a fire, and like I think that will be like the drama that sets them off, that breaks them up. I'm predicting final couples, obviously Will and Kyra,
Mhm.
Olivia and Corey,
Yep.
Trina and Andre, and Jeremy and Bailey, because there's no way they're sending more people in at this point. It's it. And like I said, I don't think the girls are going. It's not going to sit well with them if Charlie stays in the villa.
Agreed.
Yeah.
As much as they love Alana, which I just like shout out again. I cannot say enough like how proud I am of these girls for how they have handled themselves
Yeah.
with all these new girls coming in.
I know.
Like then as nice as someone is, like it is hard when you, especially if you're not in a secure couple.
And emotions and feelings.
And,
are all
yeah.
involved. Like it's really, really difficult feeling.
The fact that they've welcomed these girls so much, and I don't feel like anyone's really come off and said I had an unfavorable experience with the girls, like I didn't get along with the girls. Like they have been so kind to one another, and I think that is really incredible, and I just can't say enough of that, because that is the downside to the UK is those girls
Yes.
can get mean.
Yes. That's the amazing thing about US. Like, all of the girls know what they're signing up for. They're like, listen, we've known each other for a week. Go get to know him, because like who the F knows what's gonna go on.
But this was more girls than ever. Like,
Oh,
this was
for
so
sure.
many girls.
I would like to know the final count of girls and the final count of guys.
Same, because
Same
it
with
feels very, very off balance.
Same with the recoupling power shift.
Yeah, I think we need to do a lot of like create like a box score tonight of everything that's happened so far. For my baseball fans out there, you know what a box score is.
I also just need to give, we haven't done MVI in a while, but like MVI 100% goes to Andre. Like, I love him. I love him.
Right.
He freaking talked about his marriage. He talked about his kid. Like, he talked about his daughter the way I want a man to talk about his daughter. He was just like all-star status. Love him.
Yeah. And I think that he could be the thing that even if it doesn't become romantic, I think he could be the person to really like help Trina regain her confidence and just lead this experience on a high instead of on such a low like it could have ended.
Agreed. So on that note, we will leave you with that. We have some interesting interviews coming up.
But before those interviews come up, make sure to go check out all our previous interviews. We have the interview with Cinco out. Check out Florida's if you missed it. It flows. There were like so many that are out. We have everybody's up. So make sure you take a minute to go watch those interviews this afternoon. Make sure to give this video a like while you're in the chat. Leave us a comment. It really helps us out. And if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would mean great. That would mean great. That would be really great for us.
That'd be very bright. Very nice.
But thank you for watching. And once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, HelloFresh, BetterHelp, Nutrafol, and Ana Luisa for their support of our show, and obviously Forever Dog and Slash. And make sure to use our codes, and you can find them all right in the notes below.
Slow clap.
Wait.